in response to this second objection, Matheny, I think, would argue that the objector is a speciesist. And Matheny would equate speciesism to racism and sexism. That is to say, that the objector here is trying to discriminate between different species. And the objector is trying to say, look, we can consider the interests of one species as more important than the interests of another species, and we can treat one species better than another species merely because of the membership that those beings have in their respective species. And what Matheny is saying is that if that's the argument, that we're going to draw the line for moral consideration at species membership, then we could draw the line at membership in a particular racial group or in a particular sex group, male or female, that is. Now, presumably, we think that racism and sexism are morally wrong. Let's just say they are morally wrong. Why are they morally wrong? Well, for instance, racism is morally wrong because it discriminates based on race. And it says, if I'm a racist, I will consider the interests of my race to be more important and more valuable than the interests of the other race. Why? Because I'm a member of this race and they're a member of that race. What's significant about being a member of that race? Well, you're either going to say, oh, well, white people are just better than black people, for instance, which is unjustified. You might say, well, why are people of this one race better or more valuable than people of this other race? And you may state something false, like, oh, well, people of this one race are more intelligent or more rational or more autonomous than people of this other race. And that's just false, okay? And so you are discriminating in an unjust manner. The same is true of sexism. A sexist tries to discriminate between men and women, males and females, and there are no morally relevant differences between males and females, generally speaking, okay? And Matheny wants to claim the same thing about speciesism. Speciesism tries to discriminate between different species and tries to say that different species deserve different kinds of consideration. Maybe some species don't deserve any moral consideration. And it also says that different species warrant different kinds of treatment. But that is unjust discrimination, according to Matheny, because there's no good reason for giving moral consideration to human beings, to Homo sapiens, but not to animals of other species. There's nothing that all humans possess that all animals lack, right? As he demonstrated in response to the prior objection, it's not as if we can say that all humans are more intelligent or more rational or more autonomous than all animals. Some animals achieve those abilities more highly than some humans. So what's so special about being a member of the Homo sapien species? If you're saying it's just being a member of that species, period, there's no further justifying reason for my discrimination, then Matheny is claiming that is unjust discrimination. And we might as well draw the line at race or sex. Presumably that's immoral to draw the line for moral consideration at race or sex, so it should also be immoral to draw the line at species. Thus, this second objection fails to show that animals do not deserve genuine moral consideration.